Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Sweat Club. So, you were not privy to this, but I actually just asked of all of the students that are in class today what their least favorite pose is. We are going to be doing some work on everyone's least favorite. So, if you have that in your own mind, maybe you think about what your least favorite pose is right now. I also see Ruth just jumped in. If you want to put in the chat, Ruth, your least favorite pose in yoga for me, and I know it's a weird question to ask, or just something that makes you relatively uncomfortable, you can pop it in there. We're going to do some fun play with the idea of doing things that maybe we have a immediate noise to, or an feeling to, and try to rework that a little bit in our minds. Thank you. Ruth says crow pose. All right. Great feedback, everybody. We're going to start today in child's pose. So you can pick your fave child's pose variation. Either arms forward, knees wide, toes together. Or arms back, knees together. And then turn yourself into a little egg. Let your forehead rest on the mat. So for many of you, this might be a pose that you really love. But believe it or not, this is also an uncomfortable pose for a lot of people. So if you're one of those people that this is uncomfortable for, you could pad behind the calves and the thighs, give yourself a little extra space, and then sit back so you have some padding so you're not so deep into the position. Take a deep breath in. And a breath out. Begin by observing how your physical body feels in this position. If there are areas of tension, try to release. Maybe bits of resistance in the hips, you could wiggle side to side to encourage the hips to release a little. You may have noticed once we get familiar with yoga, once we start getting to know the names of poses, we also start to develop prejudice against specific poses, perhaps against things that make us feel a little afraid or a little challenged. So today is going to be an exploration of how poses make you feel, maybe what your snap reactions are. Because we tend to have those. It's not like we think about each pose and ponder how they'll make us feel normally. We actually just feel a certain way. You hear it, you learn where I'm taking you, and you feel. So as we move today, we'll just acknowledge that snap judgment, that immediate emotion we might have, and then see if there's something beyond it. Maybe something we can find that's pleasing, something beyond our initial reaction. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. If your arms are extended forward, walk them over to the left side. Maybe both hands come off the mat and you can come to your fingertips. Stretch through the right side of your body. And if your arms are back, you can just stay where you are in this nurturing version of the posture. Those of you with your arms extended forward, push your right hip down and back to try to accentuate the stretch on the right side. And then walk your hands over to the right. Same concept, fingertips on the ground. And then once you found the stretch on the left side of the body, sink the left hip down and extend. Left side body getting long. Come back to center. And those of you with your arms behind you in egg form, let's all bring the arms forward. And then pull yourself up into a tabletop pose. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips to start. And then walk your hands one handprint forward. Elbows move back and just lower yourself all the way down to your belly. Extend the legs back. And so now that we have the hips in extension a bit more, wiggle your hips side to side. Place your forehead on top of your hands and just rest your forehead down. Elbows wide to the side and shake the hips. Take a deep breath in. Breath out. Inhale, lift your head up, and let's come to a Sphinx pose. You can be nice and low in Sphinx. Maybe arms are just extended forward, or you can start to bring the elbows back, lift higher if that feels okay this early in class. Close your eyes. As you inhale, allow the diaphragm to extend down into your belly, and you should feel your belly push down into the mat as you take a breath in. And then as you exhale, see if you can't pull your belly button up and in, lessening the pressure on the mat. And imagine your lungs like a balloon. So continue, inhale, expanding. Exhale, pulling up and in. Take 3 more breaths just like this. And then on your third exhale, no rush, you can bring your elbows wide, forehead comes back on top of the hands, take a little rest. Inhale. And exhale. All right, inhale, lift yourself back up once more. Instead, though, let's take a lower Sphinx. So bring the elbows wide, and if you take a look at me, my hands are forward, so I'm just lifted up a tiny bit, starting to engage through the shoulders, head back. Now push your right foot down into the ground. Lift your left foot up off of the ground any amount. Ideally, you can imagine you're trying to lift your thigh all the way up off the ground, and if that's really hard, great, you're normal. So try and squeeze and lift. You should feel the glute engage. Low back is probably helping here, and that's fine for now. Hold, 3, 2, 1, and release. Left leg down. Push your left foot down into the ground. Inhale, reach your right foot up. Maybe you can try to get the thigh up off of the ground, and if not, don't be concerned. We care more about the engagement in the glute, the low back, and hold. 3, 2, 1. Breath in, and then lower down. Take an inhale here. Exhale, head comes back down to the hands for a breath. Inhale, lift your head back up, elbows stay to the side. You're welcome to lift a little higher if you like. Push your right foot down into the ground and then inhale your left foot high. So if you look at the screen right now, you can see this movement that we're doing is hip extension. I am trying to extend my femur, my leg, back behind my hip. So remember this because we're going to talk a little bit about hip extension and flexion as we move through poses. 3, lift higher, 2, and 1. Release. Foot comes down, shift it out, other side. Push your left foot down into the ground. Reach your right foot high. Hip extension on this side. Same concept. Trying to move femur, ideally back behind the hip, right? This idea of holding and squeezing, lifting. 3, 2, and 1. Foot comes down, forehead down to the mat. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, lift up. This time slide your hands back by your sides. Roll your shoulders back, curl your toes under, and push yourself up to either plank or tabletop. I'm going to do tabletop because I'm starting nice and easy today. Lift yourself on up and then come back to your tabletop, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. We'll move through cat and cow. Close your eyes. Inhale, drop your belly, roll your shoulders back. Gaze at your third eye. And then exhale, you'll tuck your chin and round. Inhale, belly drops. Gazing at the third eye. Exhale, tuck your chin and round. Okay, a few more breaths, and now you are welcome to move in add in any other movements. So maybe you would like to move side to side, barrel roll, check on the spine. Stick with this easy in, easy out breathing pattern, trying to match the inhales and the exhales. And then come back to center, even spine, and walk your fingertips to the side of the mat. So you're just going to turn the hands out, fingertips face towards the side of the mat. If you have too much pressure on the wrists, walk your hands forward instead. Should make it a little bit easier on the wrists. You might stay here, or if you can, you could turn the palms a little bit more, try to turn the fingertips back towards the legs and stay here. If this is a lot, stick with this version. Just stay forward a little bit, working on wrists turning out. Once you've kind of found your max rotation, you can start to rotate back out, come forward again. And then bring your knees together. Inhale, extend your right foot backwards. Reach your right foot back. Once more, we're in hip extension. Now, first, I'd like you to drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, and gaze forward like you're in cow pose. So notice the big bend in the back. This looks fabulous. I'm like, oh, how sexy is this pose? But really, this means we're just cheating on our hip extension by using our low back. So instead, pull your belly in. Try to take that out of the spine. Maybe you can even round through the upper spine like you're in cat pose. Then we try to extend the leg, breath in. Exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, low lunge. Now, start to push that left leg back, and we come to hip extension on this left side. So I'm going to talk as you get deeper into this posture. On the right side, we have our hip flexion. You might intuitively know, do you prefer or are you stronger with your hips flexed versus extended? Some people love hip extension. Dancers, shout out to the dancers out there, they love hip extension. For me, hip extension is really hard. So just know if that's you, that's fine too. Allow the hip to extend back. This is, by the way, a great substitution for if I ever cue Anjaneyasana here. Notice this pose here is essentially the same as this pose here. You can do either or, you just have a little bit more support on the hands. So maybe you try both, see which one you like or which one you don't like. You might wiggle that right foot in towards the center, trying Anjaneyasana. If you're like, nope, not for me, wiggle the right foot out to the side and then come here. Our intention still is really finding this big stretch on the hip flexor. If you are meeting resistance, if your snap judgment is, no, I don't like that, try to push past it because, fun fact team, normally the things we don't like are the things we need the most, right? Because they don't come naturally to us. So curl the back toe under, lift the back knee up and stay here. If you're in Anjaneyasana, come on down and meet us here. Now push through your left heel. Try to straighten your left leg as much as you can. You should really be feeling this in this hip flexor here, the front of the hip, and that's okay. Hold there. 3, 2, 1. Take a breath in. And then exhale, lower that knee down. Bring it in slightly, and then you'll step right knee back into tabletop pose, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Walk your hand one handprint forward and lower all the way down to your belly, nice and easy. Then inhale, lift up halfway, bring the hands forward. We're in our half cobra, so not all the way. If you want to do full cobra, you can. Extend and lift that left leg up off the mat. Hold, squeeze. Now, you might have a little bit more extension as we hold and lift, right? We warmed that up. Now we're going to control the range of motion for 3, 2, awesome work. 1, lower down. Hands slide back by your side. Curls your toes under, push up, either plank or tabletop. And then if you're in plank, meet us back in tabletop pose, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, find the alignment again, and then switch and shift. Bring your left leg back. So first, drop the belly, roll the shoulders back, look forward. Really being dramatic about this back bend, how nice our butts look, because they do, they look fantastic. But instead, pull the belly in, round through the spine if you can, and then notice hip extension gets a little bit more challenging. That's fine. Take a breath in. Exhale, step the left foot to the outside of the hand, low lunge, and then start to bring this leg back down, finding the hip stretch on the right side. So hip extension for me, I'm just going to be very honest with you, my vulnerable moment makes me very angry sometimes. It's really hard. It's frustrating. It can be intense. It can be painful. So give yourself a little bit of movement. If you have any pressure on the knee, you're welcome to pad the knee, and then just try and see, okay, you've been here. Maybe you want to see if you can wiggle this left leg in and come to Anjaneyasana briefly and just play with how that feels. If you prefer it, great. If you don't, awesome. Come back down and you'll bring the hands down, wiggle it out to the side. So these are two substitutions. They're both doing the same thing. You get to pick which one you like. And I encourage you in any class, even one that's not mine, if you're like, nah, I'm going to do the other variety, do the other variety. It's your body. Listen and hold. 3, 2. Okay, 1. Now curl your back toe under, lift your back knee up. Push through your right heel. So try to push the heel back past the toes as much as you can, and you should feel an even deeper stretch on the hip flexor. Hold with the legs straight. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Big breath in. And then right knee comes down. Slide it in slightly and then step knees back together. Tabletop pose. Walk your hands one handprint forward. Curl your toes under and up and back. Downward facing dog. If you're like me, you may realize now is a good time to remove your socks. So I'm going to do so. Find your down dog. Take a generous bend in the knees to start. Lift your heels high. Maybe you can even come to your toes. Push your hands into the mat. Lock your fingers and knuckles. Everything in your palm is locked down. And then option to keep the knees bent or start to straighten the legs and sink the heels down toward the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Okay, turn your toes out. So weird down dog, toes are coming out. If your knees are bent, you're going to look like a little bit of a frog. That's fine. We are walking to a yogi squat with the knees bent and the toes out. I want you to feel awkward and take your time the whole way there. Walk, walk, butts high. I love frogs, so I'm enjoying this thoroughly. Then once you get your feet by your hands, sit your butt down and back, come to your yogi squat. Okay, so again, some of you who are familiar with this pose and love it, if you have a lot of hip flexion, you might be like, oh, I could hang out here all day, right? But for other people, this is really challenging. If you're up here, you're working. So notice once more what your body tends to intuitively enjoy. If you have a lot of hip flexion, right? Flexed, hip is flexed up. You might like this more than what we just did with the big stretch in our Anjaneyasana variation. So now that we're all down here, we've had a little bit of time. Let's meet the people who don't enjoy this pose and come up slightly. So lift your butt up off the ground just a little bit. Now we went from passive to active, but we're still in hip flexion. Hold here. 3, 2, 1. We're going to come to standing very slow. 5, 4. If I said slow and you got mad, notice. 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Feet together, hands by your side, Tadasana. Coming to standing, take a breath in. Breath out. Bring your hands to your hips. Shift your weight over into your right foot. We're not doing anything crazy yet, but just slide your left foot back, toe on the ground. So once again, notice we're in hip extension. I'm extending the leg back. Push the toe onto the ground while trying to push your hips forward. Think about tucking your tailbone. This is like the Michael Jackson, right? I'm pretty sure that's the thing. Tuck the tailbone down another. Hold. 3, 2. And now just lean forward slightly. 1. Lift your toe up off the mat. Hover. And then step your feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. Breath out. Same concept, hands to the hips. Switch your weight into your left leg, reach your right toe back, hover. So this is just like a little hip extension. We're getting started, we're getting warmed up. Now, do your Michael Jackson tuck, pelvis tucks under, while still trying to keep your right leg as straight as possible. Hold 3, 2, and then lean forward slightly, just enough that you can lift toe up off the mat while keeping the pelvis still tucked. And then step feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, shift your weight into your left leg, step your right foot back, low lunge. Now, we are already in our hip extension right side, hip flexion left. Inhale, come up, crescent pose. So now that you're here, bend into the back knee slightly. Does that feel better or worse? Which do you prefer? No right or wrong. Creep and try to straighten a little bit. And then bend. Straighten slightly. And bend. Great. Now, one more time. Straighten. Exhale, hands come down. Frame your foot. Look forward, bend in your back knee. Step your feet together. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, shift your weight into your right foot, step your left foot back. So we're just doing a higher version of what we just did on the ground, right? Same movement. Inhale, up. Now that you're here, find your balance, and then bend into the back knee slightly. Which do you prefer, bent or straight? Bend, straighten. Again, bend, straighten. Once more, bend, straighten the leg, take a breath in. Exhale, sweep the hands down, frame the foot, bend in the back knee, and step, Uttanasana, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to either plank or tabletop, and we'll lower down slow. 4, 3, 2, and 1, all the way to the ground. Inhale, lift up, Sphinx one more time. Now, option 1 is just to stay here in Sphinx, working on the spine. Option 2, if it feels possible for you, push your right foot down on the mat, try to lift your left foot up. Now notice we can't really you might be able to get the thigh off the mat if you're crazy. I can't. But try and lift the leg, and then make a little baby circle with that left leg. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Inhale your right foot up, lift. Make a little baby circle with your right foot. 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Slide your hands back. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Curl the toes under. Option 1, plank. Option 2, tabletop. If you're doing plank, remember to lift the knees first. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Breath in. And out. All right, turn your toes out, heels in. And once more, bend in your knees. Walk yourself to a yogi squat. I want you to take your time getting there. Waddle your way there, little by little, and then eventually sit your butt back down into a squat. If you're here, you're going to be working harder. If you're here, you'll be a little bit more passive for a second. Now, this time, extend your left arm long, reach your right hand high, and twist open to the side, creating a nice big twist. Let's stay for an extra breath. Put the tricep into the leg, and the leg into the tricep. So your left knee squeezes in as you push out with the arm. Perfect. Back to center. Right arm down. Same thing. Push knee into tricep, open and reach, squeeze. Find those two opposing forces. You should feel this in where? Your hip flexors. You should feel it in your hip flexors a little. 3. Just moving them in a different way. 2. 1. Back to center. Hands come to heart center. Now lift up. If you've already been lifting up this whole time, You are welcome to take a break and come back in as I torture everybody else, but we're going to move up slow. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice speed, team. Feet together, hands by your side, Tadasana. Breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step back to plank pose. And then lower the knees down. We're about to move through a pose that is challenging for me to teach even in class. So teaching it online is going to be harder. I'm going to demo first, and I really want you to pay attention when I show you the demo, and then we'll move through the posture. So what you're going to do is you'll come and you'll bring both toes curled under to start, and then you'll sit back and come forward, kind of like you're in a little bit of a ball. So you'll first do this and then extend your right leg back. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is going to be to try to lift this foot up. What happens in class is people tend to do this. So instead of lifting the hips, you aren't going to move the hips at all. The hip stays firm on the butt. So try this with me. Find this position with the arms on the ground. And then the toe will be curled under on the left foot. Right foot toe will be curled under. Now, if this is impossible for you to lift the foot, good. That's actually what we want, because we're working on our hip extension, warming up for our second thing. So what you'll try to do is squeeze, lift the foot, try to point the toe and just keep it where it is without shifting your hips at all. 3, 2, 1, and come back down. Now, if you are a freak of nature, you will do this with the toe untucked and your foot onto your butt, and you'll try to lift the foot. I cannot. I can't. So you're welcome to try it that way, but you only try it that way if you can literally sit here and lift the leg off the foot with your butt on your foot. So let's try round 2. Ready? Team, here we go. If your foot can't lift, doesn't matter. It's the effort that counts. Take a breath in. Now point the toe and try and lift and hold. 3. This is hip extension in the most ultimate form. 2 and 1. Release, foot down. Take a breath in. And out. So the reason this is so hard is because we've removed the low back from the equation. We're no longer cheating with the low back. Let's do one more on this side. Take a breath in. Lift the foot. Hold, 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 hold. Squeeze. Don't lift your hips up. Your hip is still connected to your foot. 3, 2, and 1. Release. And again, if your foot doesn't lift, you are amazing. Now, your shin might be on fire. Come on up. Find your tabletop pose. Take that left leg and just shake it out. Extend. No form matters. Just bring blood back into that leg. Awesome. And then I'm going to make you forget that we ever did it between sides. Curl your toes under, push up and back, downward facing dog. You should feel a little bit uneven. That's normal. Inhale, look forward. No, I'm going to not make you yogi squat this time. Just make your way to the top of the mat and then fold into Uttanasana, head is heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, butt back, arms wide, push through a chair, reach high, look up, and then you'll fold right back down, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, shift your weight into your left leg, step your right foot back. Inhale up, crescent pose. Hold, 3, 2, and 1. Sweep it down, hands by your foot, step forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, shift your weight into your right foot, left leg comes back. We're just rinsing and repeating between sides of mobility. Hold here, 3. Reach the hands high, 2, and 1. Hands came down, frame the foot, bend and step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, and then plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Lower the knees down, and now we do side 2. So getting set up on side 2, it'll take a little bit of work. You'll curl, I'll show on this side just so you can see. Right toe is going to be curled under. You can do both legs first to start, but really think about sitting your butt back to your heels as much as you can. Hands will come down to the mat. Then extend left leg back. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm not doing the same side twice. Okay, remember your other option is to be here. We are going to hold for a second because I talked a lot on the other side. So first, push into your hands. Then take a big breath in. Squeeze, extend the leg, and try to lift the toe up off the ground. Oh yeah, I have way less lift in this side. I can barely lift it. Hold and squeeze. If your toe's on the ground, I don't care. We're just trying to lift the toe up. 3, 2, and 1. Release toe down to the ground. Breath in. Breath out. We're going to do another round. Inhale. Brace. And try and lift. Try and lift the foot. Lift the foot. Hold. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Okay, we've got one more round. You can do this. Inhale. Exhale. Ready? Breath in. And now try and lift. Lift. Squeeze. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Release down to the ground. If you hated that, that's fine. Our snap judgment may have shown us that our snap judgment was as correct and it was hard. Bring yourself back up. Shake your right foot out. Big shake. All right, so now what we did, just so you know why we did things, because I feel like that helps. First, we stretched through our hip. We got nice, lots of room and stretching. Then we controlled it. And then for the last bit, we added muscle and power, and that's what you were doing in that last bit. So you're stronger. Congratulations. Curl your toes under. Push up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, look forward. Turn your toes out, I know, and walk yourself up into your yogi squat. We're only here briefly. Sit your butt back. Reach your hands forward and push your hands out. So pushing knee into tricep, tricep into knee. Hold and squeeze. 3, maybe make fists so your arms are nice and strong. 2, and 1. Keep your knees where they are. Don't let them move. And then bring the arms forward. Take a breath in. Lift up a tiny bit and we'll come to standing. Easy does it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Feet together. Hands by your side. Tadasana. Inhale. Exhale. Again, breath in. And out. Okay, take your hands to your hips. I'm going to tuck my shirt back in because it's falling out. All right, hands to the hips. Shift your weight over into your right leg. Then let's take the left knee up, bend and flex into the knee. See how high you can get the knee up without your hands? This is our hip flexion, right? This is the opposite of hip extension. So flex, and now you can take the hands and pull into the knee and maybe roll through the ankle. As you do this, notice if the inclination is to bend into the right knee significantly. Try to keep your right knee straight, right leg straight. Take your foot roll in the opposite direction. And then release. Let's shift it out. Hands come back to the hips. First, lift the right knee up and see how high you can get it. Lift, lift, lift. Try to keep the left leg straight. And then you can bring the hands around the shin after you've found the lift and pull up and in. See how tight you can get the knee up into the chest. Hold here and do some ankle rolls. If you're anything like me, it might sound like popcorn as your ankles like, that's what mine are doing. A reminder, popping and noise isn't bad as long as there's no pain. Opposite direction if you haven't. Awesome. And release. Hands by your side, Tadasana. Okay, we're going to try a fun, weird little movement. Bring your hands to your hips. Shift your weight over into your right leg. And then just like we did before, bring your left leg back. Okay, so we found that little left lift in the leg. Now start to lean your chest forward slightly. Hover the toe up off the ground. Pro tip, secret, this is Warrior 3. You're already doing it. So if at any point you're tired when I cue Warrior 3, normally, keep lifting, keep balancing. Normally a Warrior 3 is to be here, but this is where we start. You're already there. Lift and extend through the leg. Now stay here Hands stay on the hips. Try to bring your left knee towards your chest. What is this? We don't know. It's a new thing we're doing today. All right, then extend back, hover the toe, bring the knee up and to the side of the chest. Traveling from extension to flexion, one more time. Extend, hip extension, which do you prefer? Bringing it into hip flexion. Keep it there, come to standing, and release. Awesome, shake it out. Take a breath in. And a breath out. All right, shift your weight over into your left leg. Hands to your hips. Right leg extends back. So first, just lean forward enough that you can get that toe up off the ground slightly. You're already in warrior three. You did it. You're there. Maybe you can lean a little bit further forward. Don't take it too far. This is just hovering to start. Take a breath in. And then bring your right knee towards your chest. Notice what your spine does on this side. Inhale. Extend the leg back. Hover. Exhale. Knee to chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to chest. Oh wait, we hold on this one, I think. 3, 2, I don't know how many we did. I think we're there. 1, lift up. And feet together, hands by your side, Tadasana. Close your eyes. Breath in. Breath out. All right, inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, and then lower down to your knees. Come down to one forearm and the other forearm, low plank on your elbows. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, lift the knees up. Now you might just stay here, or you could lean forward and push back. Lean forward slightly, push back. Remember, you could be here doing the exact same thing. Knees down, lean forward, push back. Breath in. And then everybody down, lower the belly down and come to Sphinx. So just a little adjustment into our Sphinx pose and hold. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. And then curl your toes under. Push up onto your knees. Maybe you lift your knees all the way up. Come back down to your low plank. Push one hand, and then the other hand. Up and back, downward facing dog. Breath in. Bring your knees down, come to child's pose. Breath out. Take 2 more breaths in child's pose. Pull yourself back up to center. Come forward. Elbows move back one more time. Lower down all the way to your belly. Inhale, lift up, Sphinx pose once more. Option 1, stay in Sphinx. If you're really enjoying this stretch in the spine, it feels good, it feels on the level for you. Option 2, curl the toes under. Lift the hips up or maybe lift onto the knees. Our Sphinx variation with the knees lifted, our low plank. Option 3, lift the butt up just a tiny bit. So imagine that you're trying to lift the butt up and back and hold here. So it's just like essentially a low plank, but with your butt high. 3, 2, and 1. Everybody down. Sphinx. Exhale, hands together. Bring your forehead on top of the hands. Breath in. Breath out. Hands come by your sides, curl your toes under, lift your knees up. Push up either plank or tabletop. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of the mat and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your butt back, take your arms wide, push all the way through chair, reach high, look high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. Breath out. All right, hands come to your hips once more. Shift your weight over into your left leg, extend your right leg back, just like we did before. Option 1, you are going to lean the chest forward, lift, hold, and hover, stay. Option 2, you're going to come straight into Warrior 3, reach your leg back, and hands forward and hold Warrior 3. 2 options. Either here, lifting, or here, extending. Hold, you've got 3 breaths. Whatever you've chosen, come back up to center. Hands in your hips. Shift it over, right leg. Option 1, you've been here. Lean, lift. Option 2, leg back, hands forward, Warrior 3. Hold for 3 breaths. Hands come back to the hips and come back to center. Hands by your side, Tadasana. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your right foot back. Low lunge. Option 1, listen carefully. Lower the back knee down, come to Anjaneyasana. Option 2, curl the back toe under, lift up, crescent pose. Option 3, hands come down and hold here. I don't care what you're doing, because know what we're doing. No matter what you choose, we are in hip flexion, hip extension. You have 3 breaths. Pick your favorite. Out of those 3 options, pick your favorite. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale, your hands will come forward. We'll all meet by stepping towards the top of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Same thing, step your left leg back. So option 1, Anjaneyasana. Option 2, crescent pose, hands high. Option 3, your hands will come down in the inside of the leg. Come to a nice stretch here. Which did you choose on the other side? I recommend you do the same thing on both sides. So just pick the same thing so you have the same level, or not even same level, but just same intention behind the movement. Hold for 3 breaths. Once more, breath in. Exhale, sweep your hands down. Frame your foot, and we all meet together. Big step, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank pose or tabletop, lower all the way down to the ground, elbows move back. Slide your hands forward, come to Sphinx. Option 1, stay here. We have many options. Option 2, low plank, knees up or knees down. Option 3, lift your hips high and come towards dolphin pose. Reach your head down through the shoulders, sink your heels down to the ground, lift the hips as high as you can get, and then we hold for 3 breaths. So where are you staying? Here? Maybe you're in the middle. You might be here. Here? I don't care where you are. You got 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, lower the hips down. Meet in our Sphinx. Breath in. And then elbows wide, forehead to the hands. Inhale. Exhale. Again, breath in. And out. Slide your hands back, curl your toes under. Push up, either plank or tabletop. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Curl or turn your toes out, heels in. Bend in your knees. Last time, guys. Walk your way up into your yogi squat. Sit your butt down. Okay, we are about to round out class today. So first, option one, you're gonna hang out in your yogi squat. Push your elbows into your knees into your elbows. Squeeze in as much as you can. Maybe even make fists like me. I like to make fists. It helps me irradiate, gaining strength in the arms. You might stay there. Option two, you might put the hands down onto the ground. Same thing. Squeeze in. If you're up here, you might be here like this, squeezing in. Option three, if you want to try and move towards crow pose, you'll bring the hands down to the mat, lift the hips up. Squeeze the knees into the triceps. So instead of balancing, I'm not a fan of knees balancing on the back of the triceps because for me, my triceps move. They wiggle, right? It's really hard to balance with the knees. So instead, knees on the outside, hug them in as you squeeze in, then just lean the weight forward into the hands and maybe you just play with the squeeze and the lean. This is already doing crow. This is like a weird tippy crow. If that's okay there, you might start to lean and try and lift one foot, then the other foot. Come back down. Maybe eventually you come forward and you're like, no, I got it. I'm going to lift both feet up, hover and hold in crow. But remember, anything on the road to crow is crow. This is still crow. So you pick, give yourself a little bit more time to play if you're flying, and if you're not, you're strengthening with me down in a squat or up here in a squat. Hold. 3. Those of you who are flying, try one more time and then come on down. 2. And 1. Release. Everybody come and just sit on your butt. Find a comfortable seat. So before we move through our final stretches of class, you might be sitting, by the way, anyway. You could be sitting in a chair. I want you to close your eyes, bring your hands to your knees. Big breath in. And out. We are going to take a visual walkthrough of the 4 poses we focused on in class today. The first pose was Anjaneyasana, the low lunge with your hand on your knee. But notice I gave multiple variations. So the other variation was knee down on the ground, your hands inside the leg, or our crescent pose. Knee up, hands up. Reflecting on that, which one did you prefer? Which one maybe did you have a little resistance to? And if you need to peek and you're confused, I can remind you we had here, here, or here. At any point when I cued hip extension or hip flexion, remember hip extending back or knee extending up and in, which one did you prefer? Again, hip extension or flexion. Same concept, moving on to our warrior 3 pose. You'll remember we were standing with just our toe on the ground, leaning forward. When we lifted the toe up, that was already warrior 3. Did you have a different reaction when I cued the full warrior 3 with your hands extended forward and your leg back? From here to here. Last but not least, actually we have two technically, we went to dolphin pose. Mostly I had you in a sphinx with a low plank. Which of those variations did you prefer? Dolphin, sphinx, low plank? And finally, coming to our crow pose at the end, I offered many variations. Did you have resistance when I said crow itself, or did you feel a little bit more capable to get it today because you had so many options? My point being, today, even when we did the beginning pose, the easiest version of the pose, you were already in the pose. Sometimes when we look at the pose as a big thing, it can seem overwhelming or frustrating, but when we break it down, it's really not that scary at all. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, let's come all the way down to the mat. Continuing to be aware of hip flexion as we move into happy baby. Reach your feet up towards the ceiling, grab for the outside edges of your feet, rock side to side. And moving from here in hip flexion to feet down on the ground. Hands come by your sides. Let's move to a bridge, either supported or just a baby bridge. You'll inhale, lift the hips up high, extending, stretching the front of the hip flexors and hold. Lower yourself down. A few options. Let's take the arms to a T. You can twist either knees together if you prefer flexion. You might like to just twist with two knees together and stay. If you want some extension, reach your left leg long, right knee in, and twist over to the left side. Gaze to the right. Come back to center. Take the same variation over to the opposite side, gazing to the left. And then back to center. If there is anything else you would like to take today to end class, any other movements you need, something to feel complete, by all means, please take it. Otherwise, yes, it is absolutely time. You can prepare for Shavasana. Let your legs extend, palms face up. Maybe get a blanket, a pillow, something to make you feel comfortable. And then close your eyes. When you're ready, extend your arms long, your feet long, lay down fully on the ground. And close your mouth. With your mouth closed, wiggle your jaw. Relax the little space between your eyebrows. If there is one takeaway from today's workshop style class, it would be that if there is a pose you don't like, something that doesn't feel good, there's a way to make it work for you. It might not be the peak version of the pose. It might not be the highest or most fancy version, but you're still doing it. So I encourage you, no matter what in your yoga practice, to find ways to make the things that challenge you feel more comfortable, feel more fun. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Shavasana. If you would like to stay in Shavasana, please just shut off me and go back to Shavasana, relax. But if you are ready to move on with your day, you can begin with a full breath in and out. Reawaken your body with small movements. Maybe rock your head side to side and gradually allow the movements to get larger. You can reach the hands above the head and take a morning stretch if you like, pointing the toes. And then draw one knee towards the chest and the other. Roll over onto your favorite side. Just a brief pause in fetal pose, and then press yourself up to a comfortable seat facing the sound of my voice. Eyes closed. You can either take palms together at heart center or two hands over the heart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bow your head to seal your practice. And then lift back up. Thank you all. Fantastic work. I appreciate you rocking with me on such a different and strange class today. I threw a lot of terminology at you, so if you have any questions, please send me an email, a message. I would obviously love to chat about it. And on that note, I will see you next week for the Sunday Sweat Club. We have one more week with the same time difference. So this next week will be the same time difference, and then Spain, we change our time, so we'll be back on track with North America, which will mean 10 a.m. CST starting the end of the month, so in 2 weeks. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you then. Bye.